Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second edition of SBC PTI. We got some wonderful discussions for today. I'm Zubin Acuna, your moderator, and I'm here with Sahil Kapoor and Luke Yandel. Let's just hop right into it with the first topic, which is who is the best running back in the National Football League right now? We'll start with Sahil Kapoor.
Personally, I think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league. Puts unmatchable numbers every single week. 2020 he was hurt, and the games he played were still amazing. He had one game against Kansas City where he absolutely annihilated their defense. In 2019, we saw how he was a MVP candidate and every week putting up crazy numbers. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league.
I gotta ask, with an injury like that, he missed some weeks. How do you think he'll bounce back from that? Will he regress at all, or do you think he'll come back stronger than ever?
No, I don't think he will regress. We saw, even after his injury, when he played against Kansas City, he was injured, and he still put up a stellar game. He will not regress. He will even get better than he was in 2019 and 2020.
What do you see his ceiling being? Like how far can he go? How much better can he get?
I think he can get to an all-time great level. Become maybe the greatest running back of all time.
All right, let's pass this over to Luke. How will you respond to that?
Well, I'll respond with another MVP candidate, which is Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans. Christian McCaffrey, his numbers, yes, they're amazing, but it's not like they haven't been seen before. I mean, Derrick Henry had a 2,000-yard season this year, and finished in the MVP. Voting not number one obviously because of Aaron Rodgers, but he finished close to that. Derrick Henry makes the playoffs with the Titans. He makes them better. Christian McCaffrey, he makes Tennessee better, or he makes Carolina better as well. But Carolina's not been in the playoffs with Christian McCaffrey on the roster. Derrick Henry on the Titans, he just goes nuts in the playoffs. Just has amazing games in the regular season and gets them to the playoffs and stays healthy. I mean, I can't recall a season where Derrick Henry has missed a bunch of time. Christian McCaffrey, this year, he only played in 4 games. If you can't stay healthy, then you can't be the same killer that someone with 2,000 rushing yards can be.
Do you think Christian McCaffrey's ability to catch balls and run with, just make plays like that off a catch, how much better do you think Derrick Henry would be with something like that?
Well, I think one of the main reasons Derrick Henry doesn't get hurt is because he doesn't involve himself in the receiving game. He does, but hardly ever. Christian McCaffrey, when he's getting past the ball, there's an opening for him to be hit hard, and already with 25, 26 carries a game, piling that on with receptions as well. You can make the case for him being the best fantasy football running back, but not the best value running back in the league. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league, and I don't think there's any argument for that.
Any last words?
2,000 yards has been done before, 6 times before Derrick Henry. It's not. We see it. Obviously, it's special. It's not the biggest.
I gotta interject real quick. You look like you had something you wanted to say to that.
I held up 6 fingers because 6 times is not a lot at all. 6 times is legendary for Derrick Henry, in my opinion.
Gotta agree.
Seeing players do it before. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. Neither has CMC. Playoffs. Who do the Panthers have? Only CMC. He's the biggest trade value in the league. The best running back in the league. He is Derrick Henry plus Alvin Kamara. So if he's already Derrick Henry plus the receiving ability of Alvin Kamara, how is he not the best?
But does that receiving ability put him in his career in jeopardy? Because Luke made a great point when he said the receiving he goes for puts him in harm's way. Do you think, you never know, one hit could be your last hit. So do you think his career, is that something he should take, that risk of going out to catch balls?
No. Derrick Henry only runs. He can't catch the ball for his life.
Then what is Chris? If you're saying he shouldn't go for the catches, then what is Christian McCaffrey without the catches?
He's way better than Derrick Henry. Way better. He has to focus. Christian McCaffrey has to help the Panthers in every single way he can offensively.
But how would he be helping them if he doesn't go out for catches, other than just the run game? Because you're saying help them on every level.
He
but
would be Derrick Henry, so he wouldn't be able to help them with the receiving game. So he would literally be Derrick Henry, just keep rushing, getting 30 carries, 30, 40 carries a game. And obviously that's going to add up, right? If you have 30, 40 carries, you should be getting 2,000 yards.
Any final words, and then we'll hop into the next section.
Yes, Christian McCaffrey doesn't have the same build as Derrick Henry. He doesn't have that same power that Derrick Henry has. I mean, Derrick Henry is over 6 feet tall, much over 6 feet tall, and way bigger than McCaffrey. So, yeah, I just don't see McCaffrey as being better than him just because of Derrick Henry's build and rushing ability.
All right. We got one more topic here on the table, and that is who is the best cornerback in the league right now? Let's get started. We'll start with Luke this time.
There's a lot of great cornerbacks, but none come close to Jalen Ramsey of the Los Angeles Rams. Jalen Ramsey is the best shutdown corner in the league. I honestly, can y'all recall any times where a receiver had an amazing game against Jalen Ramsey last year? There is one game I do recall where Devontae Adams does fake out Jalen Ramsey and scores a touchdown. That's his only touchdown in the game and only a few more catches. I mean, Jalen Ramsey shut him down besides that touchdown and shuts every other receiver down and helps his team win at the same time. So I think it's Jalen Ramsey.
Passing it over to you.
Jalen Ramsey did have a few bad games. Playoffs first game against DK Metcalf, allowed 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, and 9 receptions. That's not shutdown, to be honest. Jair Alexander had 5 straight weeks where he didn't allow a single yard on his man.
Anything to say for that?
Well, I think Jalen Ramsey, in terms of consistency, is better because, like you said, I mean, Jair Alexander did have 5 straight weeks with that stat, but he didn't have 16 weeks with that stat. You know, he got torched on some weeks and, you know, didn't have that same kind of game. I think in terms of consistency, Jalen Ramsey is outmatched. I mean, you as an amazing corner, you have room to have one game where you let the receiver, you know, go nuts. But that's just one game.
Do you think consistency is key?
Consistency is always key.
Okay.
Jair Alexander consistently performs. He's never had a bad game where he allows a receiver to have 100 yards. He's never had a receiver get 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, 10 receptions on him.
Would you like to interject?
I can't recall a receiver right now that's done that to either. I mean, DK Metcalf, yeah, he did have a great game against Jalen Ramsey, but I just think that's because of DK's size. It's really hard to, you know, guard someone with that size and build. But I mean, Jair Alexander in the Tampa Bay game, he wasn't like stellar. I mean, he was pretty average in that game. If everyone puts the blame on Kevin King for, you know, his penalties and such, but Jair Alexander didn't have a good game, and that was a leading factor to why they didn't make the Super Bowl. I mean, on offense, both teams were firing on offense the whole game. Green Bay's defense couldn't stop anything. They were just out there to be out there. So was Jair.
Do we have any final words from either side?
Just wanted to say, Green Bay did beat LA. Kind of proves a little, not too much, because that's a team effort. Then Jair Alexander, great corner. I think Jalen Ramsey has a great mentality. He has the best corner mentality. I think Jair Alexander has the best build and best footwork for a corner. I do think Jalen Ramsey has the best mentality when it comes to cornerbacks.
Could you say the matchups in a Rams-Packers games would be unfair and favorable towards Jair Alexander?
I would think so, since he's such a dominant force. And the Rams don't really have a really, really good receiver. They have Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, but I don't think they're close to anything like, you know, DK Metcalf.
So are they comparable to Devontae Adams?
No, not at all.
Anything to say to that?
I mean, Jalen Ramsey had to guard a top 3 receiver in the league, which is Devontae Adams. Jair Alexander had, I mean, Robert Woods is a great receiver, don't get me wrong, but he's not, you know, top 7, top 8 even. He's just a pretty good receiver, and I think a pretty good receiver and an amazing corner like Jair, it favors Jair. And when you have amazing corner, amazing receiver, it could go either way, really. I mean, Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey, both great, but it's hard to, you know, really favor one over the other.
All right. that's all we got for today's edition. Thank you all for watching. I'm here with,
So we're
The candle.
and I'm Zubin Acuna, and we're heading out. Thank you.
episode 3.